Hello guys, welcome back to the channel for another massive breakdown of our favorite magical martial arts journey. If you watched our analysis of the previous chapter, you know we experienced one of the most emotionally devastating moments in the entire series. Sylvia revealed her divine true dragon form, shielded Arthur from dark invaders, passed on her egg, and sacrificed herself while sending Art through a dimensional portal as he cried out Grandma into the void. This part goes from pure heartbreak straight into absolute carnage. We get Arthur's painful grief, a game-changing message from Sylvia that drops massive lore bombs, a jaw-dropping past-life identity reveal, tree-traveling parkour, and an explosive rescue mission against a gang of slave traders. Settle in, grab a snack, and let's dissect every single detail. We pick up right after Arthur emerges from the dimensional portal and collapses onto the forest floor. Clutching the dirt, his face twists in pure grief and rage as the agonizing reality sinks in. She's gone, I'll never have the chance to see her again. Screaming and sobbing at the top of his lungs, Arthur lets all his raw pain spill out into the silent woods. The scene shifts to the next morning, where Art sits alone, quietly processing everything as the morning sun filters through the canopy. Reflecting on his lost mentor, Arthur narrates with profound sadness. My mind swam with memories of the near 4 months I had spent with Sylvia. For a time that seemed both long and short, Sylvia had treated me like her own blood, teaching me the things that I had lacked since coming to this world. Suddenly, a strange aching sensation hums directly from Arthur's chest. Flustered and confused, Art presses his hand over his heart as a familiar, clear voice echoes inside his mind. Testing, testing, good, hello, Art. Arthur's eyes widen in shock as he stammers, Sylvia, are you? Sylvia's recorded message continues warmly. This is Sylvia. If you're listening to this right now, it means I have shown you what I actually am. Realization hits our young Arthur as he internally notes, I guess Sylvia managed to leave me a message earlier. Sylvia's voice turns solemn. As frustrating as it may seem, you're nowhere near ready for the whole truth. Your body is that of a boy that is barely past 4, and while your mana core has already progressed to the dark red stage, you're not strong enough. As a small parting gift, I have infused my unique will onto you. Your future development as a mage will depend on how well you're able to use my gift. Hearing this, Arthur internally winces, thinking, who asked for this gift I'd rather have? He stops himself, unable to say out loud that he'd rather just have her by his side. Sylvia's tone softens with deep motherly affection. Oh, and Art, I can imagine what you may be feeling right now. Sorrow, anger, guilt. But remember that you have a family to look out for and a purpose to fulfill in this life. My only wish for you is to embrace the joys and innocence of childhood, and become a man of which both your parents and I can be proud. Reaching out his tiny hands, Arthur gently grabs the beautiful, multicolored egg wrapped inside Sylvia's wing feather. Sylvia's message delivers its final instructions. When your mana core is past the white stage, you will hear from me once more. At that time, I will explain everything. So until then, I bid you farewell. And right before her voice fades away completely, she utters 2 final words that completely shock Arthur. King Grey. Arthur freezes in total horror and disbelief, questions flooding his mind. How long had she known my identity? How did she even know? Taking a deep breath, Arthur collects his thoughts. Questions continued to pester me long after Sylvia's voice disappeared. One thing was clear though, if I focused only on training for the sake of revenge, this life would hardly be different from my last one. For now, I can only move forward, but first, where the hell am I? Taking a firm stance, Arthur channels his mana, executing a rapid dash through the lush, giant foliage and scaling high up into the massive trees. Looking out over the endless canopy, Art observes, even with mana, my vision is restricted, but one thing is clear. I was deep within the Elshire forest. Even just barely being able to use the mana rotation that Sylvia taught me, I'm able to use magic for a lot longer. Still, I can't help but wonder how I ended up here. Sylvia said that I would arrive near other humans. No matter, I'll just keep looking around. I'm getting pretty good at this tree-traveling business. Forget walking, at 4 years old, Arthur has officially unlocked monkey mode. Suddenly, a sharp, terrified scream echoes across the woods. Arthur's ears perk up instantly. That sounded like a human. Dashing directly toward the noise, Art moves from branch to branch, hoping to find a way out. Nearing a stationary carriage hidden below, Arthur drops down to a lower, concealed branch and sits silently, using his enhanced hearing to spy on the group gathered underneath. 2 sleazy men are talking to their leader near the carriage. The first one grins maliciously. Hey boss, elf girls go for a lot, don't they? The second scum adds, she's a child too, so a virgin at that, she'll definitely fetch us a lot. The boss scowls, barking orders. Shut up and put her back in the carriage already. We need to move. We're only a few days away from leaving this damned forest. Sitting silently on the branch above, Arthur's eyes darken as a look of pure fury washes over his face. Slave traders. Looking down at the beasts pulling the carriage, Arthur quickly analyzes his situation. I had no idea how those pigs managed to get their hands on forest hounds, but I knew that getting one of them would be my best bet out of this forest. As for those slave traders, well, with all the crap that happened to me lately, it looked like I'd finally be able to let off some steam. Moving stealthily through the canopy, Arthur maintains his position. Despite my eagerness to get home, I still needed a plan. Dealing with those slave traders first was the best course of action. But I didn't strike immediately. Attacking all four of them head-on would be suicide even for me, so I followed, waited, and gathered strength to make my move when their guards were down. It's time to create a distraction. Art grabs a wild fruit and hurls it into the brush. Even at 4 years old, bro is already using video game stealth tactics. The distraction agitates the forest hounds. Hearing the sudden commotion, the slave traders yell out, "Shut 'em up before they wake up everything in the forest." The designated guard groans, walking toward the beasts. Okay, damn mutts. Observing the lone guard approaching the hounds, Arthur prepares his opening move. Without a weapon, I was forced to utilize a technique from my previous life. A technique I wasn't even sure would work in this world. The guard walks up to the snorting beasts, completely oblivious. You should just chew each other's antlers if you're that bored. Arthur drops silently from the tree right behind him. Before the guard can even process the movement, Art executes a lightning-fast strike, slicing through him with lethal precision. The guard dies standing up, unable to even flinch. Stripping the corpse, Arthur equips the guard's clothes and grabs his sword. Staring down with cold blue eyes, Art thinks, "Thank you for the weapon." Arthur steps back into the shadows as the ravenous forest hounds devour the dead trader's body. Back at the camp, the second trader grows impatient. The hounds are quiet now. What's taking him so long to come back? Walking toward the doorway, he spots a shadow in the dark. You taking a piss or something, Pink? Before he can finish his sentence, Arthur appears behind him like a ghost and cuts his life short in a single flash. Stepping over the second body, Arthur catches his breath, internally reflecting. As expected, fighting is a lot harder and tiresome in this body. I should finish this quickly while the last two are still asleep. Suddenly, muffled, frantic noises echo from inside the carriage. Is Shaman there? Arthur winces, gritting his teeth. Damn it, why now? The noise instantly alerts the remaining two traders. The leader shouts, "Why are you being so noisy? Where are you, Pinky, Deuce?" As Arthur dashes to take cover, the bald trader spots his movement and lunges. Art dodges gracefully and delivers a double slice straight across both of the bald trader's feet. Coldly counting his kills, Art notes, 3 down. The bald trader screams in agonizing pain, alerting the fourth trader, Danton. Crawling backward, the bald man desperately screams, "Careful, Danton, the brat is a mage." Danton stops in his tracks, staring down at the tiny kid holding a blade. "A kid mage, huh?" Dropping his heavy sword to the ground, Danton smirks greedily. "Then we don't want to accidentally kill the golden egg that just landed in front of us. Now do we? He might even fetch us more than the little elf." Yeah, calling Arthur a golden egg was officially the worst financial decision of this man's life. In a split second, Danton rushes forward so fast Arthur barely tracks him, appearing directly behind him. "Don't die, kid." Shocked by the speed, Arthur barely dodges the incoming strike. Reaching into his pouch, Art hurls a heavy stone directly into Danton's face, leaving a visible mark. Enraged, Danton lunges again, but Arthur throws his knife attached to a condensed mana string. Danton sneers, "You have some cute tricks." Slicing the mana string, Danton catches the knife midair and hurls it straight back. "Here's your weapon, catch it." Danton closes the gap faster than Arthur's young body can process, delivering a brutal kick straight into Art's stomach. The impact sends Arthur flying backward onto the dirt. Walking up slowly, Danton reaches out his massive hand with a sick grin. "Come here, my bag of gold." Famous last words. Grabbing Arthur by the leg, he pins him down. "Just give up. You can't do anything with your little body." Pinned to the ground, Arthur's mind races at high speed. Condensing mana like a blade seems to behave similarly to wind magic in this world. If that's the case, fire magic should be too. Talk about inventing battlefield magic experiments under pure pressure. Focusing every ounce of his mana into his hand, Arthur triggers an explosive point-blank blast directly against Danton's arm. Danton stands frozen in absolute shock as Arthur doesn't stop, unleashing a powerful blast of fire that completely engulfs the trader's arm. Danton staggers backward, clutching his charred arm in sheer agony. You son of a, you're dead, brat. I don't care if I have to sell your corpse. You're dead. Before he can finish, Arthur glides through the smoke and slices straight across Danton's neck. Danton collapses to the ground, dead before he hits the dirt. Now only the injured bald traitor remains cowering on the ground, begging for his life. Wait, please, don't. Arthur looks down at him with dead, unforgiving eyes, echoing the harsh reality of their sins. I'm sure the little girl said the same thing. With the camp completely cleared, Arthur walks up to the back of the carriage, opening the door to reveal the terrified, trembling elf child inside. Softening his voice, Arthur gently offers, "Come on, it's safe now, you can go back home now." Looking at her young savior standing in the moonlight, tears stream down the little elf girl's face. What an absolute masterclass of a chapter breakdown. From processing Sylvia's heartbreaking farewell and digesting her reveal that she knew he was King Grey all along, straight into using past-life tactical brilliance and fire magic to obliterate a gang of slave traders, Arthur proves once again why he is an absolute badass. Who is this adorable little elf girl, and how will Arthur return her to her people deep inside the Elshire forest? Let me know all your thoughts, favorite moments, and theories down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss the next part. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.